Each week during service, we're collecting our tithes and offerings. We want to highlight a specialized ministry in our church, a part of our church that you can be a part of, sharing your time, your talent, and your treasures. Today we have Gail Johnson with us. Gail is part of the outreach team, and she leads the Wednesday luncheons. So Gail, I'm glad that you're here with us today to share about this special ministry at Paris. So tell me a little bit about the luncheon ministry and how you became part of it.
The Wednesday lunch ministry started a few years ago, and I believe it was already well established by the time I came along. There was a young man who was on staff here who was facilitating the luncheon, and he needed a little help, so I started jumping in and helping him. And then after just a few months, he resigned and went to another position. So I volunteered to take it over, and I've been doing it for about 2.5 years now.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that it's great. I mean, the way that we're opening it up to the community. Our vision statement at Paris says that we're to be a church where the excitement of following Jesus Christ leads to eternal spiritual growth. So kind of to follow up on that, a two-part question of, share with me some of the ways that the luncheon inspires excitement in following Jesus and helps others to grow spiritually.
Well, we see some church members who come to lunch regularly, but we also get people from outside of the community who go to other churches, and some who don't go to any church at all. And we like to encourage them in their Christian walk, and we do invite them to events that are going on here, or even to attend church, and sometimes that works out. So that's very exciting because it is an outreach.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, we've had a couple different people come to special events because of, like the community Lenten services or for the installation.
Right.
And it's great to see those questions come out of like, oh, well, what is this? What's your church doing? And have those conversations with the community members.
Yes.
For sure. How do the tithes and offerings help support the luncheon?
The tithes and offerings, we could not do these luncheons without the offerings from the congregation. And also the lunches are free of charge, but we always accept gladly donations that come in, and we do get donations. But I do want to emphasize that it is free. So the tithes and offerings are essential. We couldn't do it without that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I know that there are some weeks where, we may need to, supplement what is brought in, and those tithes and offerings make it possible to go and get more soup or, provide sandwiches or things like that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. What are some of your hopes and dreams for the luncheon in this coming year?
We always want to see the luncheons grow in numbers of people attending. And we want to be able to help people, who are coming and getting involved. Not really counsel with them, but just kind of give them a little bit of encouragement in their relationship with God, or in some cases just, issues that they're facing in their lives. Sit down and talk to them for a few minutes.
Yeah, I especially appreciate the way that you know everybody by name, you know what's going on in their life. So to say, hey, Mr. Smith, it's great to see you. How was your doctor's appointment, or things like that?
Yes.
It forms that community and helps with the spiritual growth, just to know someone out there cares and loves.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that about the way that you do the ministry specifically.
Oh, thank you. Some of our, especially some of our elderly people who have been coming for a while, they'll even tell us, now I'm not going to come next week, I have a doctor's appointment. And if we can remember that and ask them how it went with the doctor, or in many cases they're taking a spouse to the doctor, I think that means something to them.
Exactly. It's part of the church loving and caring for one another.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Which kind of leads into, the next question of Paris's mission statement is to be a welcoming and sharing the love of Christ by serving together with everyone on their faith journey. How can people get involved in the luncheons on Wednesday?
Easy way to get involved is contact me by phone, by text, catch me at church. I'm very accessible, and let me know that you want to bring something, or just come to lunch, or both. You know, we have some people who bring something even though they can't come to lunch. You know, you might be working, but they still just want to contribute to the ministry. So just let me know you want to bring something.
Fantastic. And all your information is in the church directory.
Yeah.
So if somebody's like, you know, which Gail is it again? You know, I'd be happy to pass on your information as well. Is there anything else that you would like to encourage the congregation with, maybe a story or a report from your ministry?
Yeah, this is kind of a personal story. When I was growing up, I didn't really have a relationship with my grandparents. I wanted to. They lived out of state, and I would see them at the most once a year. Mm-hmm. And I really just was not used to being around elderly people. So I noticed that our lunches, we have a lot of elderly people coming, and I have learned to warm up to them. I've learned to love them, to understand what some of their concerns are. Most of them are concerned about a spouse who's very sick, or a sibling, you know, who has passed away, and just to be able to warm up to the senior citizens that come to lunch.
Yeah. I love that, especially as, you know, in the summer times, Madeline will be at the luncheons, and I know that that has been a gift to her, you know, to be able to, you know, interact on a multi-generational level and learn how to do that, because that's not something she gets to do with her peer group.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. And in the same, you know, vein, then she feels like, oh, I'm one of the adults I get to hang out with. So there's a blessing in the multi-generational.
There is.
Yeah.
I would love to see some children come, but you know, children have parents who are probably at work, so maybe that'll happen eventually.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When we give to the church, we are giving to the mission of God and how He's called us to fulfill that mission at Paris Presbyterian. On behalf of Session and the ministry teams here at PPC, we are thankful for your tithes and offerings that make ministries like our Wednesday luncheons possible. Now, let us stand in body and worship as we join together and sing the doxology.